Hi, I'm Chris. I'm here with Megan, and today we're going to speak to Blythe for the next of our Getting to Know Changes Staff and Volunteers videos. So, as normal, I'm going to hand over to Megan, who's going to start off with the questions, and I'll chip in as we go along. So, Megan, over to you.
Welcome, Blythe. So we're going to start with our first question. How and when did you first get involved with changes?
Okay, so I first got involved with changes a couple of years ago. Actually, I was in quite a difficult time in my life, and I was kind of struggling with my mental health. And my partner at the time kind of said to me that you're struggling, like you need to get some support. And he mentioned this place called Changes, and I was really skeptical. I was a bit kind of not sure about that. I'm not sure about kind of speaking to a group. But I went along to a peer support meeting on a Wednesday evening, and I went into the meeting and I just cried and I didn't say anything, and that was that was kind of like my first kind of meeting really. But I went back the next week, kind of opened up a little bit more, got to know the people in the group, and I've kind of now I'm working at Changes, so I kind of went from a service user, a couple of years kind of in the service as a service user. Then I kind of went and did the OCN training to become a volunteer. And I really, really wanted to do that because I really enjoyed being a service user, and I just wanted to, be able to then volunteer for the service, which I did. So I volunteered for about a year, I think it was, in the adults, and now I work for Changes in the young people's office as a wellbeing coach. So yeah.
So what do you do as a wellbeing coach, and how has that changed being in lockdown?
So as a wellbeing coach, so I work with children and young people, so ages at the moment from 8 to 18, but we do work with children younger than that, from 5. So I deliver peer support meetings. I deliver a lot of social, so we do like a quiz night, art club, book club, lots of different activities. And I've also started running my first wellbeing workshop as well. So it's changed quite a lot during lockdown. Like, as you can imagine, everything's online now, so it kind of comes up with its own changes and challenges, doesn't it? But I think actually we've been able to adapt the service really well. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
And what is your favourite session to deliver out of all the things you do? Peer support, socials, wellness?
Oh, my favourite session. I don't know. That's quite hard. I really enjoy my peer supports. I think my peer supports are probably my favourite. I do a peer support on a Wednesday, which is 11 to 15, and then on the Friday I do 8 to 11, and they're both really different groups as well. Like, it's a different kind of group dynamic in each group, and I just kind of love kind of seeing the young people, seeing how their week's been. We do a lot of, in the younger one as well, on the Friday we do a lot of kind of creative activities, which is really great. And that's probably my favourite group.
You get to know them so well in the peer supports, don't you? Because obviously a lot of them can come for such a long time. I remember some peer supports I've had before where they've been coming for like, not with just me, but like accessing the same peer support group for like 5 years.
Yeah, and you build up like a really good relationship with young people as well, and you build up like that trust and that kind of, it's great. I mean, it's not like the same as a friendship, but it is, you're there in like that supportive environment, and it's really good as well to see, when you work with young people for the first time, and they might be quite nervous, or they might be a bit kind of I don't know, resistant maybe to kind of getting support, but then you're on that journey with them, and that's really good to see.
And how do you support yourself now? Because obviously you were a service user before. In now being in the job role, how do you support yourself? Do you go to your own peer supports, or do you kind of support yourself through the work you do?
So I'd say, I'll say like I've kind of come through a recovery period. I feel like I'm at a really kind of strong place at the moment, because I don't think I would be able to work, because I wasn't working for quite a long time. So I think I am in quite a stable place. But to keep myself in well, it's just making sure that I'm also practicing what I'm what I'm talking to the kids about. Like, that's really important. And so everything that I talk to the kids about, I've kind of experienced or I practice myself. So yeah, just being kind of really aware of how I'm feeling, I think. Lockdown has been difficult, and there's been dips and highs as well. So it's just kind of checking in with myself and saying, like, you know, how am I feeling, you know, and if I'm kind of struggling, thinking to myself, right, what am I struggling with? But also you know, getting support from the team as well. Like, we've got a really supportive team, and I know that I can go to anyone in the team, and, you know, to yourself or to Jay, and just say, look, I'm worried about this, or I'm struggling with this, and actually that, you know, that's some big support for me.
Yeah. So you touched a little bit on lockdown, and that there's been ups and downs. How have you managed throughout lockdown? Have you found it difficult, easy?
Okay, actually, yeah, I think I've been okay during lockdown. I mean, I live with my partner, so, which is great. We've got a really good relationship, so, you know, that's okay. Yeah, I think I've been okay. I've definitely had weeks where I thought, oh, you know what, you know, this is really kind of starting to get to me. But I think it's just making sure that I'm like doing the things that keep me well. So thinking like, what are my wellness tools? You know, making sure I'm sleeping well, eating well, all those kind of habits that I've built up over like a long time, and just kind of maintain them. And also just taking time as well, like to do the things that I really enjoy.
And what are them things? I was going to ask you, what are your happy things?
I'll go into my allotment. So that's not like such an old person, aren't I?
I love it. What have you been growing on your allotment over lockdown?
A lot. So it's been like I got it not last year, the year before in August. So I spent a lot of time just working and trying to get to a place where I can grow. Been growing loads, so loads of tomatoes, potatoes, cucumbers, lots of greens, broccoli. I grew like tomatillos as well, which are a bit like tomatoes. So yeah, lots of different things, herbs as well, fruit as well, raspberries.
And do you eat from your allotment, or do you still have to buy from the shop?
We eat during like the peak of the harvest, like during kind of August. Well, kind of summer, like the peak of summer, we tend to eat mostly just from like fresh fruit and veg, but we still have to buy a lot of stuff as well. And also you get really tired of eating like courgettes for like 3 months.
What has been the best thing you've had off there? What's tasted the best and you thought that's mint?
Oh, I don't know. Probably tomatoes. Like, I love growing tomatoes. Yeah.
Do you grow certain types of tomatoes?
Yeah, so I grew like some beefsteak tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, yellow tomatoes as well, and some cherry tomatoes as well, which will look quite dark, so like quite black. So yeah, got loads of different varieties.
I think yellow tomatoes would psych me out. They wouldn't look right. Yeah, I think they would bother me. So, talking a little bit more about you, to me, it's obvious that you have a different accent. So you're not originally from Stoke, are you?
No, not from Stoke.
So where are you from?
So I'm actually from East Sussex originally. So grew up in Battle, like around Hastings, by the coast.
Oh, I bet it's stunning there, isn't it?
It is nice, yeah. And like in the summer, I miss it because I miss being so close to the sea. But I do like Stoke. I like living in Stoke as well.
And what inspired the move?
Oh, well, I actually met someone from Stoke. So, well, an ex-partner in Stoke who was living here. And I was kind of travelling back and forth a lot. And I kind of decided that I wanted to move up here because I like the location of it as well. Like you're in between, like, you know, Manchester, Birmingham, you got, you know, the Peak District as well, just up the road. So I really like that. And also going for like a day trip to Wales, like before I moved up here, I'd never been to Wales or anything like that. So it was kind of exciting getting to, you know, go to different places around the city as well.
We are quite central, aren't we? I never really think about that. What do you like about Stoke then? Apart from obviously the location.
I like the people in Stoke.
Mm-hmm.
really like the people in Stoke, and I don't know what it is. I just kind of I've always felt quite at home in Stoke, I think. And I think it's got a really good like arts community as well, which I really enjoy. And yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of like green spaces as well in Stoke, and kind of the surrounding area. So I think it's just a mixture of lots of things and just how I feel here, really.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. You mentioned the arts community. So is that what you're into? Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, I've got an arts practice as well. So I went to uni and I did filmmaking. So I do a lot of filmmaking as well. And I've been involved like in a project, for example, like I did with Changes with the adults, where it was a clay, it was like a wellbeing clay project with the adults, and I kind of documented that and created a film in response to that. So it kind of has, you know, laps over, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you're quite a creative person then?
Yeah, that's what I like to do. Kind of arts and gardening, I think they're my main things I like to do.
Yeah, I love that. So school, what was school like for you? What subjects did you like?
School. So I found school really difficult. I struggled through school. But the subject I really enjoyed was probably art.
Yeah.
I quite liked science. I didn't get great grades or anything like that, but I did enjoy science and art.
And going back to lockdown a little bit, have you watched anything really good over lockdown? Are you like a TV person, a film person?
Oh, film person, yeah. We don't actually have a TV, so we don't watch that many TV programs, but I do like watch catch up and that. But yeah, no, big film person.
Favorite film?
Favorite film? Oh God, I knew you were going to ask this question. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite film is. There's been some really good films I've watched recently.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a film called I think it's called Rocks, and that's actually on Netflix at the moment, which is about a girl and her brother who the mum kind of goes missing, but it's about kind of her and her friendship at school, and it's about this kind of like sisterhood and how they kind of help each other and the situation that develops. And yeah, it was just it was kind of like it was a drama, but it kind of ended with this really kind of, I don't know, just
no spoilers.
No, yeah, I won't spoil it, but yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Any other good ones over lockdown?
I'm trying to think. I really like my world cinema, so I like a lot of foreign films as well. There's a really good film called, I'm going to say the title wrong. I think it's I'm Still Here.
Okay.
Which is a Mexican film about kind of like a dancing group, like a dancing gang. And he has to end up, something happens, something goes wrong, and he has to basically go to I think he ends up in New York, he does. But yeah, that's a really good.
It sounds like you like quite complex, like hard watches, not an easygoing rom-com.
No, I don't watch. Actually, do you know what I watched? For the first time, I watched Steel Magnolias during lockdown.
I haven't watched that.
I've been watching a lot of films actually. It's just reminded me with Julia Roberts in it.
I haven't seen that. Have you, Chris?
It's an old film. I've not seen it. No, it's more of a, excuse the phrase, chick flick. I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I will not excuse that phrase. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, Blythe. So, do you have any pets?
Yes. So I've got 2 cats, called Baby and Jasper.
They are the cutest cats in the world. They literally are. Have you ever had anything else but cats?
Yeah, well, mostly cats. So we've had with my family, we've had dogs. My mum's got dogs as well. I've had mice before. Yeah, they were smelly.
I can imagine.
They were really sweet. They were really sweet. We had them when I was a bit younger, and I used to have tropical fish actually as well when I was younger. For some reason, I had this birthday money, and I just decided that's the thing I wanted to get, which is a bit strange.
Oh.
But yeah, but mostly cats. Yeah, always had cats.
And I feel like I know the answer to this, but what's your favourite animal?
I've got so many favourite animals. I've got to say probably cats, but I really like crocodiles and bears and mooses.
That is pretty random. I wasn't expecting that. Right, okay, so back to changes a little bit. I always ask this question because I think it's quite nice. What do you think is unique or special about changes as a service?
I would say the kind of like the service user led nature of it. Like, I think that's really important, because I think without that, changes wouldn't be changes, and it wouldn't deliver like the service it does either. So yeah, definitely because as well, like, because I'm, you know, on my position, I never imagined I would be in this position and kind of working with young people and in mental health, and actually it's because of my experiences which got me to that, you know, to this place. So I think that's definitely kind of the unique thing about changes, but also just, you know, the community around changes as well. Like, changes have got, you know, it's got a really kind of solid community around it as well, of service users and volunteers and, you know, staff. So yeah, all of those things.
So you say obviously it was never your plan to be in the role that you're in now. What was your plan? Did you have a plan? What other jobs have you had? What career did you want?
So work's always been a bit like a point of like a lot of anxiety for me. Like, I've never really thought about, you know, like what specific job I want to do. It's always been like, I want to be able to do filmmaking, I want to do art. That's always been like my, you know, what I want to do, like art and filmmaking, all those kind of things. But in terms of the jobs I've had before, so my first job, I was a waiter at a restaurant, and I hated it.
Like it.
And I've worked in Primark, a lot of retail jobs. I worked at Emma Bridgewater in the decorating studio and also in the factory side. I worked also, before I came to Changes to work for them, I was a support worker for adults with learning disabilities. So yeah, I suppose like a few different things I've kind of done, and yeah.
Which has been your least favourite job?
My very least favourite. Oh, I worked in Sainsbury's whilst I was at uni. I think that was my least favourite, because I used to work on the checkout, and it was a little Sainsbury's next to a train station. So of course everybody came in very, very stressed in the morning because they were in a rush to get to work. So it was quite
everyone was just giving you their stressed bad energy.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of rude customers.
And what's been your favourite so far?
Oh, Changes. Yeah, by far. Yeah, by far.
What sort of music you listen to?
Music. It varies a lot, I think. So
yeah, a few
you're gonna laugh.
Yeah, changes depending on how you're feeling at a particular time, I think.
Exactly, yeah. Like, over lockdown, you're gonna laugh at this, but I've been listening to so much Dolly Parton. Like, I've just fallen in love with, like,
she's our saviour now, isn't she, apparently?
She's what?
Dolly Parton's our saviour.
Yeah, she's like funding like the vaccine, isn't she?
Donated $1 million to one of the universities who developed one of the vaccines. Yeah.
Oh wow! I wish someone would donate me $1 million. That'd be nice. I can see that the vaccine's probably more important.
Yeah, if you develop a world-saving vaccine, you might have a chance for it.
Blythe, have you got a favourite place to visit, or a favourite place that you've ever been on holiday, or?
Yeah, I've been quite lucky that I've been able to travel to like a few different places. So the best, or the biggest, like maybe like the biggest holiday I've ever been on was we went to Jordan for 2 weeks a couple of years ago. That was for my partner's 30th birthday.
Can I be daft? Where is that?
So it borders Israel and Syria.
Ooh.
So it's in the Middle East. So it's not usually somebody's first choice for a holiday.
Go to Petra while you were there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, so we went to Petra, which is just like incredible. Yeah, just the food, like the food was amazing, the people were lovely. Yeah, it was just a really great, great time. And we went to the city as well, went to Amman, and when you go to a city and you just like discovering all these different things, and we just like walk around the corner, and like there was this film festival going on which we hadn't even seen, and it was just like a great holiday really. So
it sounds it. What made you want to go there?
I don't know really why. I didn't know anything about it. It was my partner's kind of like decision to go there. But I think it was because we wanted to kind of go to Petra, which is like one of the what do you call it, like the wonders of the world.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite place in the UK?
Yeah, probably probably loads of places that I can't think of. I really like North Wales.
North Wales, yeah.
It's just such a beautiful place, isn't it? Like,
do you listen to any podcasts, Blythe?
Yeah, I listen to podcasts quite a lot actually. Sometimes listen to them like before bed and help me get to sleep and that.
Have you got any favourites?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm listening to a podcast called Knife Point Horror, which is
good bedtime listening.
Yeah. So I like listening to horror podcasts, but also history podcasts as well. So
you listen to anything like I listen to Our Fake History and a few of those that go through like some historical myths and then sort of like smash them wide open, say why they're not real and why it's coming to the conception of people that they are real things. They're quite good. I like them. Yeah,
that sounds good. I haven't heard of that one before actually. Yeah, I really like In Our Time. They've got like the history one for In Our Time, don't they? And there's a podcast as well called like Working Class History, which is really good. Talks about like working class struggles. And there's one as well. I'm trying to think of the name now. There's one called like Strangers, which is just about talking about kind of the stories of strangers. So it's just like individual stories. And also like comedy ones, like I listen to like the Adam Buxton podcast as well, which is quite funny.
I was just gonna say you don't even listen to anything light-hearted, but you put the comedy in there.
I do, yeah. I do watch like comedies as well and listen to comedy podcasts occasionally, but I find it hard to find like a good comedy podcast.
The comedy one, I listen to a lot of podcasts as well. The main comedy one I listen to is called the Bugle podcast.
I'm sure I've listened to that before, yeah.
It's very silly.
Do you have a favourite comfort food?
Yeah. Cheese, bread and chocolate.
Oh, top tier food. So if anybody who is struggling with their mental health right now is watching this, what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, I would say, give yourself time, kind of go easy on yourself, because I think sometimes like we kind of get in a cycle, don't we, where we make ourselves feel guilty because we're not doing this or we're not doing that, or we're comparing ourselves to others. So I would say, just go easy on yourself, look for, what support do you have? And also, if you're in Stoke, get in contact with Changes, get in contact with your local services, and, it might not be for you, but it might be for you, and that, that would be great. Yeah.
That's absolutely perfect. Lovely.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, Blythe, and thank you, Megan, and we'll see everybody else soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.